What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes? Welcome back to your, I'm not going to say potentially favorite Nigerian podcast, because at this point, I don't think anybody sends this podcast anymore, man. At this point right now, at this point in time, I don't think this podcast, resonates with anyone. I don't think anybody, there are so many podcasts today, there is so much content creation today, that to the point where there are new ones being created every day, and there are new excitements, and there are new things that people are excited for, things that people are what's the word that I am looking for now, interested in. There are new interests every day, and old ones die. And as there are new podcasts that come up every day, there are old ones that also die. There are ones that people no longer get interested in. There are ones that people no longer resonate with, or people no longer, vibe with. You understand? And then they just naturally die. There are podcasts I used to listen to in the past that I no longer listen to again, because I don't know, probably they just stopped uploading, and all the creator just got tired and moved on to something else. And I feel like that's how mine has panned out. I feel like that's how my own podcast has, that's the kind of journey, or that's the kind of path it's taking. But I don't want it to take that path, because I haven't found something else. I haven't found something else that I have this immense interest in. Everything just feels so bland, and I don't want the podcast to die. I don't want it to end. I don't want it to go. I don't want it to stop, because this is something that I genuinely love doing. But it's just that lately I've just been feeling down. I've just been feeling tired. And I don't mean tired in the sense of like I'm depressed or something, or I'm just, I don't know. I've just been feeling, I don't know if anybody can relate to what I'm trying to say. Is anybody else feeling that way? Just feeling so immensely overwhelmed by things that are going on. Just immensely overwhelmed, and just, I'm not going to say unmotivated, because that's not the right way to put it. Unmotivated is not the word, because obviously, yes, I am filled with motivation, and there is so much that I want to do, and there's so much that I want to talk about, and there's just so much I want to say. But there's this core strength that one needs to have for them to be able to do the things that they love doing. But I just feel like mine has dissipated. I just feel like mine has just somehow been lost, and I cannot really quite place my hand. I can't really quite really understand what is really going on. I just feel tired. That's the best way I can put it. That's the most accurate way I can put it. Just tired. Just spent. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel spent. I'm tired. I don't understand, man. I can't be the only one that's feeling that way. I can't be the only one that's feeling this. I can't be the only one that's feeling this as in pathetically fucking tired and overwhelmed and just, agitated. Is it agitated? There's so much going on in the world right now that it feels kind of hopeless to want to move on. I don't know, does that make sense? There's so much happening that you don't have time to react to it and let it marinate and understand it, and then figure out the way that you can either live with it or comprehend it or solve it. I know that sounds alien. I know that problems now that seem solvable sound alien to us. So we just keep, it's like being in war. If you've heard stories of people who have been in battle, there's usually this, there's no time to grieve, there's no time to process what is actually happening. You just have to keep going, you just have to keep going, You just don't die. Just keep going. You understand? So that is basically what's happening today. Like, there's no time to process anything that is happening. We just keep getting slammed every single day by things that are happening, and it never seems to end. That's basically what I am observing. That's basically my worldview right now, and it's overwhelming me to the point where I am too tired to be creative. It's like, what then is the point where the world is probably going to end? Like, it's bringing out the nihil. It's like really bringing out the nihilist in me. You understand? Like, what is the point of progress? What is the point of moving forward? What is the point of like being creative? What is the point of pushing content? What is the point of like doing things that are meaningful when quite literally the world can end any moment from now? And when I mean end, I don't mean cosmically. I mean like we can blow ourselves to smithereens any moment from now. The other day I went to bed. The other day I was high as fuck, right? And then I took a nap, and then I slept off. And then when I woke up, I heard that fucking Iran had bombed Israel, and I was like, bruh, what are we doing? What are we doing? I heard that Iran, and I was scared, bro. And you know, I've not felt this kind of fear in a while. I had not felt that kind of fear in a while, hearing that Iran had like bombed Israel, and I was like, bruh, I'm in another man's land. It is not good for you to be in another man's land when war starts. It's not good. It has never been good for anybody themselves in another man's land when war erupts. It will not be good for you to be in that kind of situation. And I was like, please, you people should not do this thing. Don't do this. What are we doing? Why can't we just chill? Why can't everybody just smoke and chill? Why? What are we doing? Wait, please, I want to ask a question. Just relax and just smoke and just relax. Is it that difficult? It's not that difficult now. What are people doing? Bro, when I woke up and I checked my Twitter and I saw this, I was like, bro, I was scared. I was quite literally scared, and I felt so powerless, and I felt so tired, and I felt so like defeated. Like there was this feeling of utter defeat that I could feel, and I was like, I'm tired. So I don't know how long it's been since my last episode, and obviously it had been 8 months since I did the last episode before my last episode. So it's been so long, and I've just been so down, and I've just been so, like, spent and tired, and I don't want to say depressed, but depressed is not the word. Like, before we get to that state of depression, there is something else that I've been feeling. Do you understand? Just this like utter defeat. Because, and I'm this person that thinks a lot. I overthink. Like, before I make a decision, I have to like think of every single thing. Like I have to cross all the T's and dot all the I's. I have to like think of every single possible way that this decision that I'm about to make can go wrong. And most times, it makes me not to take the decision at all, because I just feel like, I've seen every possible way that it can go wrong. And so it's best for me either not to take this decision or find another way to make stuff work. So that's just the kind of person that I am. And so, because of the fact that I find myself in this hopeless situation, this dystopian situation that I'm in now, I end up not making decisions that I actually want to make. Like, for example, I've just not had the ability, I've not had the strength to make content in a while. You understand? Like, I've just been so tired of it. But today, even yesterday, I was at home. I didn't go to work yesterday. Yesterday was Monday, and I was just so fucking glued to the bed and just so unmotivated and so fucking down and out. And I was like, fuck, man, I can't go to work today. And today too, I didn't go to work, and I was like, shit. But it's not good to just spend your time doing nothing. Like, as in, I'm in this kind of situation where first of all, I don't like doing nothing. As in, I like spending my time doing something, regardless of how little its meaning might be. Do you understand? So, but then when I find myself not doing anything, like I'm always judging myself, and I'm always spiteful to myself, and always cross with myself, and always asking myself, like, why are you wasting your time? There are people that wish they had the kind of time that you have right now, and you're just wasting it doing absolutely nothing. You're supposed to be spending this time doing something meaningful. Like, it always bangs my head. It always like rings and rings and rings until I'm always, I don't know if it's me, but there's this thing inside of me that never wants me to just chill. Do you understand? And so now that I've been having this kind of feeling lately where I'm just so unmotivated to do anything, that voice has come back, and that voice has been like constantly nagging on me and just like barking at me to do something meaningful. And so with all the strength I have managed to muster today, I decided that, okay, yes, I'm going to make an episode today. I don't know if I'm going to have the chance to do another episode next week, whenever. I don't know when the next episode is going to drop, but you're getting one today, so you have to be happy. And also it makes me happy that I am finally and actually making content, because again, this is something that I love. And so I'm sorry that I've been taking that I've taken so much time off. I'm sorry that it's been so long since the last episode, probably about more than a month now. So, but hopefully things are going to go back to normal as soon as the rest of the world decides to, call themselves to order and probably not destroy the entire world. So, there's so much I've been thinking about, right? And it has to do with the state of our reality right now. It has to do with the state of how everything is right now. Obviously, we are at the brink of war. Everybody is like, there's never been a time when there's so much disunity. There's never been a time in history, in modern history, where there's so much disunity and so much hatred and so much animosity and so much like fucking everybody's just on everyone else's neck. Everybody just hates everyone else. And for the love of me, I cannot understand why. It seems like, as in, from the way I've observed it, it kind of feels like we've been taken over, like we've kind of like been brainwashed to hate ourselves. And if you look at the core of it, like if you try to investigate and look at the core of why we're so apprehensive towards one another, there really isn't any like deep reason why we're just so fucking hateful and spiteful towards one another. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense for it to be this natural, unless it's not even natural. Like, unless it's not, like, it doesn't make sense for humans to be this hateful towards each other, unless it's something that is engineered, basically something that has been like scripted, unless it's something that has been willed to happen. You understand? Something that has taken many steps for it to get here. And it has got me thinking, like, for example, I don't know if anybody saw this Netflix series, The Three Body Problem, right? And spoiler alert, in the series we have this alien, like fucking, we have aliens they are called the Santi, right? And they are coming to Earth in 400 years to take over the planet because humans are incapable of taking care of this perfect planet. But first of all, my problem with the Netflix series, in fact, the entire Three Body Problem, both the books and stuff, is that why, if you are an alien, if you're like an alien species that wants to like take over the planet, and you already know that humans are this incompetent and humans are this like fucking spiteful and hateful towards one another, right? Why let them know that you're coming in 400 years? Why give them the leverage? Why give them the opportunity to get ready, to have the opportunity and have the chance to most probably destroy you? Like, if you know that they can't stand a chance, right? If you know that they're going to destroy themselves eventually, why do you have to announce yourself to them? Why do you have to tell them your plans? Doesn't make any sense to me that an alien race that is this advanced and should I say more moral, because in the series they say they can't lie, which first of all is not true, because they lied to their hit woman. I don't know, I can't remember her name now, the girl that was like always helping them kill people. They lied to her and told her that she was useful to them and that she was not a bug. I don't know, even though that's technically not a lie, but it's also technically not the truth, right? So they most probably lied to her. And so if you're this like alien species that is that advanced, why tell us your plan? Why make us aware of you? Why don't you just allow us to continue on the path that we've taken, which obviously is going to lead to eventual destruction, right? It doesn't make sense that they have to like reveal themselves. They shouldn't have revealed themselves, right? But I guess that's just that's just how drama has to like happen. But it's had me thinking, right? It's like, what if that's actually what is happening in real life today? Like, what if that's actually what is actually going on right now? What if like how in the series, right, they kind of like made human intelligence kind of redundant, because first of all, their all-seeing eye quantum computer was like everywhere and knows what every human being is doing at any given time, right? And also they made human science like incapable of improving. Like, you can't get any tangible and any correct like information from any scientific endeavor you carry out. So that was already like guaranteed that whatever humans did, they were always going to like the Santi was always going to like win, because eventually human beings will die out, give or take 400 years, and then when the Santi come, they will have like a very good planet to inherit and also live on. So, but I've also been thinking, right, like, what if that's actually what's happening in real life? Aside the fact that but what I mean is, like, in this case, they don't make themselves known. They just walk on things from like, they just walk on things from behind the curtains. They just like do things secretly and manipulate events secretly for their own benefits, for their own eventual benefit and takeover of the planets. Like, let me explain. It does not make any sense, like I said earlier, that it does not make any sense for the entire world right now to be this unstable. Like, everybody's on everybody else's neck. Basically, everybody is terrified of everybody else. Everybody's spiteful. Everybody's hateful. There's this red dread. Like, there's this, I don't know if anybody else can see it the way I see it. Like, there's this red dread. Like, when you look at people that are being hateful, like, you can see this, I don't know if you look closely, there's this dread on as in above them. Like, everybody is just so hateful, unnecessarily hateful. And I'm just here smoking my weed and asking myself, why? Why? The answer is we are being manipulated, bro. We are being manipulated. We are being manipulated by some entities that just want us to die, and so that they can take over our planet. It does not make any sense for all the governments of the world. Like, it doesn't make any sense for every single, let me not say every single government, because there are countries where, to the best of my knowledge right now, because of obviously how lay and limited my knowledge of current events are, there are countries that I perceive to be progressive. There are countries that I progressive and, you know, prospering, and also like with good governments. Like, example, most of the Scandinavian countries, right? I'm just going to give it to them, but let's assume that it can't be 100%. Like, the Scandinavian countries can't all be 100% incorruptible, right? So it doesn't make any sense that all the countries of the world have corrupt governments. Like, why? Like, why can't we just have a country? Why can't we just have like series of countries that are just with good governments, with people that have the, like, people that care for their own, like governments that care for their own people? Like, why can't that just be the natural thing, where there is no corruption, where corruption is looked down on, where corruption is like genuinely frowned on as something that is childish, and something that doesn't make any sense, and something that is dead, like defaming and degrading, like something that what's the word I'm looking for now, that recedes progress. Do you understand? Why can't we just see corruption as that? Why can't we see, why is it that in Nigeria, like, for example, now in Nigeria, our president is someone that stole the presidential seats, basically, and yet he's destroying the country, first of all, and there's no economic progress, there's no progress, first of all, in the country. There's nothing that's working in the country, and yet the president is this weak ass, old ass, lazy ass, fucking ignorant ass, illiterate ass drug lord that is running the country. Like, why? How is that even possible, when we had somebody that was quite, in every sense of the word, the perfect person for the office? Yet we are living in a world where we're living in a world where the power was taken away from that person and then given to this evil person. It doesn't make any sense. Why is that for a country that is the most powerful country that has ever been known ever in the history of humanity, the president of the United States is this old clown that doesn't know his left from his right, that falls all the time, that is he's not there upstairs, like, most probably has Alzheimer's. Like, why is it that the current president of the United States, and even the one that people are hoping will be the next president, which is Donald Trump, why is that Donald Trump is the lesser of two evils? Because you can't tell me that there isn't any other person, like, for example, now Vivek, I don't know his, like, I can't pronounce his, like, surname, but we all know Vivek, right? Ramaswamy, is that his surname? So, but why? Or even fucking Robert Kennedy. Like, why are people not clamoring towards, like, why is the majority of the public not clamoring towards them to actually govern the entire country, to actually rule the entire country? Like, why doesn't know, what is the point? Like, bruh, I've been thinking of this stuff for a very long time, and it's also one of the reasons why I've not been, believe it or not, right? The fact that I've not pushed any episode for more than a month now doesn't mean that I have not tried to make content in all of that time. Like, I've actually tried 3 times, but each time I pick up the microphone and I start recording, I just feel so tired and overwhelmed, and I just stop. Like there was one time I recorded for almost like 15 minutes and I just stopped because I was like, as in, I'm just tired. Like I'm just tired. Like the things I want to say, I hadn't yet like formulated them properly, and like I hadn't thought of them well. Like I hadn't like formed them up well in my head to be able to say them. Also, so much was happening. Like there's so much that happens constantly and it never stops, and we just keep going. And so there's no time to process it. And so most of the time I just stop recording, and that's that about that, right? But for today, I said, fuck it, I can't do this. Like, I just feel this sadness in me because the things and also when I couldn't, like, those times when I tried to record and then I stop, I started having this fear that shit, it feels like the thing that I love doing, I no longer have the passion for it. I no longer have the, the drive, the zeal to do it anymore. I was scared that I was, losing this love for podcasting and losing this love for saying things that I really love saying. Even the weed couldn't help anymore. Like, in the past, how anytime I smoke, I just like say things that come to my mind, right? But I kind of realized that in the past, I just say things that come to my mind without really actually thinking of them. But these days, I actually want to talk about things that matter. You understand? And so, it takes more effort to think and say things that matter. You understand? You have to like actually be present. You have to be self-conscious. You have to be thoughtful. You have to be really. You have to really give it second, third, fourth, fifth thoughts, and before you can like say them, right? So I just felt like this topic that I've always wanted to talk about really needed the perfect condition and the perfect time and all the like fucking what is it even called again, all the points that I have to make, right? So back to what I was saying, right? It doesn't make any sense that all the presidents in the world just have to be evil. Doesn't make any sense unless we have been visited by aliens. We've been visited by aliens that actually want our planet, but then the only way that they can take control of our planet is to take control of the people that are in control of the planet, which happen to be the governments all around the world. Because why is the fucking Prime Minister of India corrupt? Why is Putin corrupt? Why is the President of Nigeria? Why are most fucking... I'm not going to say that the governments, the presidents we have in Africa are aliens, because no, they're not smart enough to be. They're not smart enough to be aliens, right? What I'm going to say is that the presidents of most countries in Africa are actually real human beings, but they're just that stupid. You understand? They're just that daft to allow themselves to be controlled by the actual aliens that rule other countries, right? It doesn't make any sense. Like, for example, now look at Canada, right? Canada used to be like where people want to go to work, to make life better for themselves. Like, Canada used to be the place where Africans want to go to actually work and make money and send back home and like make a life for themselves, right? Canada used to be the place where everybody was clamoring to go to. But today, look at the Prime Minister of Canada. What is that his name? Fucking Justin Trudeau, right? It's a mess. It's like housing is just impossible to get. You have to work like 2-3 jobs to make ends meet. Like, we're living in a world right now where it is quite literally impossible for millennials. I've never said that word out loud. Millennials. It's quite literally impossible for millennials. That sounds weird. Yeah. I don't like that word. I've decided that I don't like the word millennials. But anyway, we're living in a world where those group of people, those sets of people, will never be able to afford the house just like our parents did, because things have become so unnecessarily obnoxiously expensive that there is no point. Like, there used to be a time when you can save up money to buy stuff, right? You can save up money to buy the things that you want to buy. But these days, regardless of how much you save, regardless of how hard you try, regardless of how much you cut out of your life, out of your expenses, out of your wants, you just can't. It's just, as in, it's just impossible to save now to be able to get the things that you actually need. It's not, as in, aside from people who have like wealthy really afford to give them things that they want. I think it's kind of almost impossible for people to start from scratch, for people to start from nothing and then walk their way up to, you know, being someone in life. It's literally impossible these days for millennials to be able to achieve that. As in, that time has gone. And also, another thing I want to talk about again is this. I feel like the age of money as we know it and as we understand it and as we are familiar with and as we are used to, the age of money is fading away. It's like it has not yet completely faded away. It's in the process of fading away. Let me explain. It's like you every day things get more and more expensive. Let me try my best to explain this the way I thought about it in my head. Like every day, right? It seems like getting expensive, more and more expensive, unnecessarily expensive. And you ask yourself, how? Why? Why are things just being this expensive? And why is the government not doing anything about it? Why is the government so dumb that they print money? It's like you're the government. You're supposed to understand that printing money is going to cause inflation, right? Printing more money than is needed is going to cause inflation, right? Like, I cannot believe that a government of a country, the governing body of a country, can be so dumb to just keep printing money and hoping for the best. It doesn't make any sense unless there is a secret agenda, unless there is an ulterior motive behind it. And the ulterior motive I have come to realize, I have come to understand, if I'm going to like put on my conspiracy theory hat, is that they just want to make money stupid. They want to make money obsolete, and they want to make money not matter anymore. Not in the sense that everybody's going to be rich and nobody's going to like have wants or needs or anything like that again. But there's a new form of money right now. As I'm speaking to you right now, there is a new form of money. There's a new form of medium of exchange that is being created and being pushed out gradually and slowly. It's like drips of water. Like they're like pushing it slowly and trying to get the general public acquainted with it, and in time they're going to get familiar with it, and then they're going to accept it, and then it's going to be the norm. And this new type of medium of exchange is not currency as we understand it, or as we are familiar with it, or as we recognize it. It's going to be data. It's going to be everything about us. There's not going to be privacy anymore. You know how in the past I used to talk about what if we are able to read minds, and how detrimental that will be for humanity in general. But now it's actually coming to reality. We're not the ones that will be able to read minds. We're not the ones that will be able to, we're the ones that will be able to we're not the ones that will be able to read minds. The government will be able to read our minds, and more than our minds, the government will be able to know every single detail about us from the data that they collect from us, and then they're going to use that data to control us, and they're going to use that data to the data that the government has about you will determine how much how much food you're going to eat, how many clothes you're going to have, the kind of house that you're going to live in, the amount of freedom that you're going to have, the amount, if you're going to be married, if you're going to have children, if you're going to have a career, a successful career. That's actually, if you're going to be somebody in life, if you're going to have status in society, the data that the government will have about you is going to determine every single one of that. And we're in a world right now where it is, right now, as I'm talking to you, as I'm speaking with you, it's quite literally impossible to escape it. And I'm going to tell you how. You know how Christians always talk about the mark of the beast, right? How the beast is going to, the Antichrist is going to come, and the mark, and he's going to, like, how do they even put it, like, going to, like, scar everybody with the mark, people who accept him with the mark of the beast. And so Christians have these superstitious rituals where they hit the number 6. Like, if you go to some hotels or some Catholic schools, they don't use the number 6. Like, for example, they go from 665 to 667 because they don't want to, like, use 666, like dumb stuff like that, right? And then we always hear about Christians talking about resisting the Antichrist. There are so many people that they've called Obama the Antichrist. They've called fucking Joe Biden the Antichrist. There are so many people that have been called the Antichrist over the years, right? Because of this weird, odd belief that Christians have, because they think that the mark of the beast is actually going to be a number. It's not going to be a number. Let me tell you what, if there's actually, if the Christian God is real, if there's actually something called the Antichrist, if there is a day that fucking Jesus will come back, let me tell you what the actual mark of the beast might and can be. Everybody has a phone. Everybody has a phone, right? Most people have bank accounts, most people have credit cards, most people have jobs, most people have health insurance, most people have other kinds of insurances, right? I don't know anyone right now who will be willing to give up their phones or their bank accounts or their health insurance or their car insurance or something really quite dear and personal and meaningful to them, unless they are at gunpoint, right? If somebody says your money or your life, right, you're obviously going to give them the money that you have, right? Now imagine a powerful entity, like imagine a powerful body, like let's say the government, right, comes and shuts down your fucking bank accounts. Like, for example, now you know how they were after PDD, right? I don't even see most of the fucking beef that is going on in the hip hop world now. Like, I'm so overwhelmed by other things that they are so trivial and so insignificant that I don't even want to, like, pay attention to them. J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and who else? Drake are beefing. Like, there's this beef going on, and people like Rick Ross and also who else? Chris Brown and Migos. Like, there's this mixture of something to stir up, like revive the hip hop world. But there's a lot more that is going on. There's a lot more serious stuff that is going on. That might just be the normal, usual distraction that the fucking aliens used to distract us from what is actually, I don't know what might, like, there's something now that might be going on that they are using this fucking hip hop fucking beef distraction to distract us and to redirect our attention from. Do you understand? I'm sure that there's something that is going on right now that they don't want us to know, and then they're using this nonsense, this absolute nonsense. And I'm thankful for someone like J. Cole, because I feel like he has come to understand that these things don't matter in the grand scheme of things, that there's so much to be aware about, and there's so much there's so much that you have to pay attention to than just ordinary stupid useless beef that doesn't do anything for anybody. And I'm thankful for the fact that J. Cole being one of my like best best hip hop artists, right? Like my favorite hip hop artist, has grown to the point where beefing, even though he dropped one and then he apologized for it, even like later, he has grown and he has matured to the point where that doesn't like thrill him anymore, and so he just apologized. And obviously people that have not yet reached that level of consciousness, and people that just want to like stir up the flames, and people that just want to like, you know, make things worse for everybody else, it's like they were clowning on him and egging him for apologizing. But he doesn't care, he doesn't send. And me, I know that he knows, like I feel like we're kind of on the same plane, because it doesn't make any sense. Do you understand? They are just distractions. So imagine that you're PDD, right? Like not necessarily PDD, but imagine that you're so wealthy and you've done so well for yourself in life, and all of a sudden you wake up one morning and then your bank account is locked, and your health insurance is locked, your electric car cannot work anymore, like everything that you own has just been digitally taken away from you. Like you can't access them anymore unless you're willing to do certain things, right? That's basically where we're headed. That's basically where we're headed. Like I don't know anybody right now that can give up their bank accounts, or that can give up their phones, or that can give up their health insurance, or that can give up their cars or their private property and stuff. As in, we are going to the point where that is going to be our new reality. That is going to be our reality, where data is going to be used as currency for big corporations and the governments to be able to spy on us and know everything about us, and then in turn just give crumbs to, or give us crumbs. Do you understand? Like there's this saying by the head alien. I don't even think he's the head alien. Like the what they call the WEF, the World Economic Forum. What is that his fucking name? When he said you own nothing and you'll be happy. It's like what I feel like what they mean by you own nothing doesn't actually mean that you're not going to own anything. Just that the things that you're going to seem to think that you own will be so trivial and so insignificant, yet you'll be so thankful for having them. You understand? That's the level of control, that's the level of assertion that these alien entities are going to have over us, and it's going to be hell. You understand? It's not going to be a life worth living, and we're heading towards that. It's kind of where I feel like we are failing to understand that we're not. I always make reference to this movie, Don't Look Up. Like we're not looking up. We're not seeing that we are being manipulated, because it's unnatural for yes, I can understand that there might be parts of the world where there's conflict, but it's just not possible for literally everywhere in the whole world to have conflict right now. There is no place that is peaceful. Places that used to be a dream to go to, or places that used to be wish lists, are no longer wish lists, because now there are fucking immigrants coming from God knows where and just like invading countries. Like who is sending them? Who is sending these people? How are they getting on boats and just going to and navigating through the fucking ocean and then finding themselves in another man's country and just like entering? Like, what is going on? And why are government allowing? As in, what is happening? What is actually happening? Like, it doesn't. Is it making any sense to anybody? It doesn't seem like it's making any sense. On top of that, we have fucking transgender bloody that one is just another problem on its own, where reality now has been so warped and so fucking turned around to the point where people cannot even understand basic biology anymore. Do you understand? That one it's just unnatural. That's all I'm trying to say. The fact that people are just so much there's so much going on right now. It's unnatural. It doesn't make any sense at all. Seems like it's becoming more and more obvious and apparent that we're being ruled by alien entities that are just clowning on us and just controlling us anyhow and just making us do things that naturally we're not supposed to do. No, there's this saying that currently, like, we are living in the best time in human history. Like, for example, the people in the past were living, as in, how do I even put it? We're living in a time better than any other time in the past, but it doesn't seem that way anymore. Like, it doesn't seem like we're living in a more prosperous time, because there's nothing that is actually working out. We can't afford fucking rent. It seems like we're just in this rat race, walking and walking and walking, and then there's nothing to show for it. There's no longer a third space that one can afford. You just go from work to your home. Like, also, I've noticed that right now, it feels like people no longer love. You understand? Yes, I know that there's a lot of apprehension and spite and hate going on in the world right now, but when it comes to like actual loving someone else for the sake of procreation and for the sake of having a lifetime partner, people no longer love for the true reasons, for the biological reasons of loving someone, right? It feels like there's this new culture now where if you don't have money, or if your ass is not big, it's like then you cannot be in a relationship. It's like the men are in for the sex and then the women are in for the money. It's like there's no true bonding, there's no true connection. Like, you have to have something has to give. There has to be a hidden agenda, there has to be some ulterior motive, there has to be something selfish that somebody has to want from you for you to afford their time, which is kind of sad, right? Sad that you cannot just love somebody as it's supposed to be anymore. Like, now there has to be money involved. Like, if you're not 6 feet, if you're not 6 foot tall, if you don't make $1 billion a day, if you don't have fucking blue eyes, if you don't weigh 2 pounds as a woman, if also while having the most flawless skin and the biggest boobs and the biggest nyash, also being a housewife and a traditional wife and a body count that is minus 50, then you're not a fucking we're not love. There's no love again. For someone now to claim that you love somebody else, that person has to have gone above and be. If you're a woman now that claims you love a man, the man has to be as tall as Goliath, has to be as rich as Mansa Musa, and eyes as, I don't know, blue as the sun or whatever. And for a man now to love a woman, she has to be fucking, I don't know. Just think of it, man. You fill in the blanks for yourself. So there's no love. We have just become this selfish, fucked up, dystopian fucking society and species that we are quite literally on the brink of extinction. If we don't course correct, is it course correct? Yeah, if we don't change, bro, we are quite literally going to die, and these aliens are going to take over. Like, yes, in the movies there's always a happy ending. Like, for example, now in the Three Body Problem, I'm sure when season 2 comes out, there's going to be a turnaround with the wall. No, I think from the books, the what they call them, the wall bearers. I've forgotten what they are called. The people that are not allowed to like make their plans public, because then the Santi will know will not their problem. Sorry, the people that are not allowed to make their plans known to the public, because the Santi cannot actually read minds. So obviously, yes, in the movies there's always a happy ending, right? But in real life, bro, if we don't change, if we don't like change our as in, if we don't change, basically there's going to be deaths and destruction. Do you understand? There's going to be there is nobody that is coming to save us. there is quite literally nobody coming to save us, and it's kind of scary that we are not in any movie right now, that this is actually real life. Where, as in, like, I don't know if anybody sees it the way I see it, right? I don't know if anybody understands it the way I understand it. It's like we are in a situation where we might actually go to war. There might actually be third world war. Russia is still fighting Ukraine. Israel is fighting fucking the Palestinians. I don't even know. Speaking of the Israel-Palestine, is it Palestine or Palestine war? I cannot say that I know much about it or much about what's going on, or I cannot say that I support one side and then condemn the other side. There is no. It's like two bad guys that are fighting, right? Two bad guys that are fighting. And when you ask why they're fighting, there is no clear reason as to why they're fighting, but yet the fight is understandable, because obviously one side hurts the other side, but that side was hurt first by this other side that hurts that one side, and it just goes way back. But if I am going to give my 2 cents about it, right, this whole Israel and Palestine stuff kind of disproves the entire Bible, right? It just like makes just dissipates the entire Bible, like the entire history of Israel and the entire history of Judaism, and it has obviously bled into reality, because there are people who actually believe, like there's this documentary I was watching, I've forgotten the name of the documentary right now, where there are Christians in America that actually believe that the war that is happening right now in Gaza is a sign of the second coming of Jesus Christ, and so they support the should I call them Israelites or the Israelis? They support the genocide going on in Gaza, right? And they don't, as in, you have to be cosmically obnoxious as a Christian, as an American who is a Christian, to live where you are in America with the belief that where you're going to, which is Israel, a place that doesn't even practice Christianity as you understand it, for you to leave America and then go there and support them for destroying a place that they were not, a place that they were not in the first place. It doesn't make any sense. Like, Americans actually, most fundamental, do they call it? I don't know, most Christians in America, most people, in fact most Christians in general, think that what is happening right now is a sign of the second coming of Jesus Christ, and so they support it. They support the massacring. Like, I've seen videos of parents, I've seen videos on Twitter of parents holding their dead babies. Like, I've never seen a dead baby before. I've never seen more dead babies than I've seen, like, in the past fucking 2 months. Do you understand? I've seen, like, videos. I saw a video where a man was holding the head, like he was holding his dead baby, like not a toddler. I'm not talking of a toddler. I'm not talking of like a 1 year old. I'm talking of like an actual baby. He was holding the head of the baby, and then the head just detached. Why am I laughing? The head detached, and he had to, like, catch the head of the child. Fuck. And like, there's so much burnt babies, decapitated babies, the torso of babies, the heads of babies, the limbs of babies. Like, I've seen so many devastation, and I cannot say that I support Palestine, because with all the resources that they've had over the years, they've chosen to allow something like the influence of Hamas to overpower them. I'm not saying that it's their fault anyways, but then I cannot say that I support Israel, because obviously what happened on October 7th, like the brutal attacks. I'm sure everybody has seen the videos, right? So you can't just choose sides. You can't just say, oh, free Palestine. And there are people that, see, there is so much going on. There is so much going on that we don't know, and it's so way above our heads. It's so sinister that, like, there are people that will be used as pawns to further the fucking, I don't know, to drive home the point of what they're trying to, of what these people in power are trying to do. Like right now, there are two people so far that I've seen that have lit themselves on fire, that have burnt themselves alive, just to, I don't know, one did it possibly because he feels like the first guy that burnt himself, the American soldier that set himself on fire, did it while he was on fire. He was yelling "Free Palestine," right? It's kind of stupid. It's just stupid for somebody to end his life like that. That's just to show you how little we know about what is actually going on, and how easy it is for your mind to be captivated, for your mind to be ideologically captivated, and for your mind to be infested by this virus that these aliens use on us. Like, I know it might sound like a joke, right? I know it might it might sound like a joke, but the Santi is actually here. The Santi is actually here, like the actual real Santi. They didn't tell us that. They didn't make their plans public. They are here secretly. They are fucking us up. They are fucking us up every single day, every single second of every single minute of every single hour of every single day. Like, they are fucking us up and just weakening us. Like, I'm this person that I have drive. Do you understand? I have drive. I want to do things. I want to be creative. I want to like produce. I want to make things. I want to know how things work. But why is it that lately I've been feeling so unmotivated? Why is that lately I've been feeling so down? Why is that lately I've been feeling so uninterested? Everything just feels like cardboard paper to me. Everything just feels so bland and uninteresting. There is so much there is like an overwhelming amount of things right now that I don't find interesting. You understand? Fucking, like, I don't find interesting. There's so much that I don't feel like doing anymore. Like, why is that me, this person that used to be so filled with life and so filled with color and so filled with, like, you know, creativity, I'm just bland and, you know, in bed all the time, and just when I come back from work I'm tired and I just want to like sleep. I just want to like smoke and sleep. Like, that's not life, right? And then there are people that are in worse situations than me. You understand? Like, they are fucking with us. Like, when I mean that they're fucking with us, they are actually quite literally fucking with us, and they want to keep us in a state of penury. They want to keep us in a state of they want to imprison our souls and make us slaves and make us automatons and make us fucking depressed beings that don't appreciate life anymore. You understand? That is what they want us to be, so that they can finally take over the world and then finally rule the world as they seem fit. But if you're conscious of what they're actually doing, bruh, wake the fuck up, man. Fight. Like, there's something I always tell myself: don't give up. Like, the day you give up is the day you lose. Don't give up. If you give up, if you decide that I'm tired, regardless of, let me say today you might not be feeling it. You might not be feeling yourself. Even this entire week you might not be feeling yourself. Even this entire month you might not be feeling yourself. But the fact that you're not feeling yourself doesn't mean that you just allow it like that. Don't give up. Like, fight back. If you have addictions, try your best to fight your addictions. If you're feeling like life is no longer worth living, if you're feeling like everywhere, like if you're feeling like you're living in a dystopian world, there is this scarcity of good news. Do you understand? Like, there is this, if anybody has noticed, there is a scarcity of good news. Like, you can't just, like, I don't know if anybody still watches TV, but you can't just turn on the TV and you hear good news. You can't just check Twitter. I don't know. First of all, maybe good things are happening all over the world, but I don't know if it's just Twitter. You know how everybody was saying free Britney Spears, she deserves to be free. You know, there's no reason to be keeping her in prison. And then they finally freed Britney Spears, and now we can't get enough of her dances on fucking Instagram. What if that's what happened with Twitter, where Twitter was obviously overtaken by the FBI, and then there was censorship, and there was so much that was not allowed to be said until Elon Musk bought it and then allowed everybody to do whatever it is they want to do. And now whenever you see a post on Twitter and you want to check the comments, fucking you can't, the comments is, you when you see a post on Twitter, you're like, oh, let me see what everybody else is saying about this post I just saw right now on Twitter. I'm never going to call it X. I'll forever call it Twitter. And then you want to check the comments, and you don't see anybody saying anything. All you see are just adverts and other videos of stuff that does not relate to the post in any way, shape, or form. Nothing is happening. Nothing under the post that you just saw. None of the comments relates to the post. People are just posting other stuff, and most of the time they're not even people, they're just bots. And bots keep following you on Twitter. Like, do you know how many bots have? Anytime I just check my followers, I know I don't have a lot of followers. I check my followers and I see like I have 40 followers. From where? I don't know any of these people. And then I check their names, and their names are filled with numbers and letters and codes and all that stuff. And I keep deleting and deleting and deleting. Elon Musk, please do something about it. Do something about the bots. You said you were going to clear the bots. There are still more bots than people on Twitter. Do something about it. Also, do something about the fact that when someone makes a post on Twitter, the comments don't align with the post. The comments are just filled with nonsense. Remove all that nonsense. I feel like that's actually what's happening right now, where maybe the fact that Twitter has this level of freedom right now is making all the wolves to enter the chicken coop. Doesn't make any sense. Please remove all this nonsense. I beg. Now, God, I beg you. And also, what if there's to go back to the point I was trying to make earlier? What if there's actually good news and good things that are happening all over the world, but because of the fact that I'm on Twitter, let me not say 247, because anyway, you understand, because of the fact that I'm mostly on Twitter, right? And all I'm seeing is just like bad things happening. I see people shooting themselves. I see people getting run over by trains. I see people like stabbing themselves. There's just so much evil going on, and I see it all the fucking time on Twitter. Is that kind of shaping my worldview of what's going on? Is that what's going on? Is that what's making me depressed? Do I have to delete Twitter? Do I have to delete social media? Is that a bad question to ask? I don't know. But I just feel like the world is not going the way we were told it was going to go. It's going left. It's not going right. You understand? And the Santi, believe it or not, they are actually here. They are not. They are not. They didn't make public their plans. They didn't tell us that they're going to come in 400 years time. They might not be here actually. They might just be manipulating things with their fucking quantum computer. But they have a hand in this business, and they're fucking things up for us. And we have to wake up. We have to wake up and smell the bullshit that is going on, and come to the realization that if we don't come together and fight them, if we don't come together and fight them, we're fucked too. We're fucked. Imagine that. Just imagine that that actually happens. Imagine that you just go outside your balcony right now. Like I just go out to my balcony right now, and then I look up, or like because I'm in front of my laptop right now, and then I see you are bugs, and then I go outside and I see a giant fucking eye staring back at me. What is the right thing? What is the appropriate thing for the human mind to do? Like, what is a human being supposed to do in that situation? Like, you see a fucking giant eye staring back at you, and then you come to the realization that fuck, you are not alone. You are not alone in this universe. You're not alone, and you have been found. You know how we're always sending messages to speak. Why are we doing that? Why are we sending message? Why are we doing that? Have you not read do you not know about do these people not know about the dark forest theory? Why are we sending probes into space? Why are we going to why are we going to Mars? Why do we have Voyager 1? Why do we also have Voyager 2? Why do we have the Hubble Space Telescope? Why do we have the James Webb Space? What are we looking at? What are you looking at? Let me ask you a question. What are you looking at? I understand that, yes, I am in love with cosmology and I love it and I love space. But now that I have an understanding of the three body problem and the dark forest theory, my guy, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you looking? Why bringing attention to yourself? Do you not understand that you can be found? You're fucking around. Do you not understand that you might find out? Do you not understand that? What are we doing? Imagine that a fucking giant eye looks back at you. What is the appropriate response for the human mind to do? What will you do? You know, that happened in episode 4. I think that was in episode 5 or 5. And then beginning of episode 6, we see people ending themselves, right? I understand. Like, there are people that cannot comprehend. There are people that cannot comprehend it. The human mind, there are certain things, right, that the human mind is just not evolved enough to be able to comprehend. And so now that's, and I feel like the fact that we don't actually know what is actually going on should give us the ability, should give us the morale and the, as in the ability to fight, to resist. Do you understand? Because if we actually saw the if we are actually able to look behind the curtains, most people cannot be able to handle the truth. Most people will end themselves, because actually the truth is, as they say, stranger than fiction. So that's all I can say today. I feel like this is actually quite short. That's all I'm able to say today. I don't want to go more into the fact of what the human mind can be able to do when it comes face to face with such powerful entities. That's going to be the topic for another day. But the most I can tell you right now is the Santi are already here, and you don't actually know, but now you know. So try your best to fight, resist, for humanity's sake, because if we don't win, it's going to be our head on the stake, and I don't want my head on the stake, man. I don't want to be a slave. I don't want to be owned. I don't want to be in a situation where I don't have freedom anymore. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm in another man's country and then World War III breaks out because some old ass dudes cannot call themselves to order, man. Anyway, I'm glad I did this. I'm glad I summoned up all the strength I have in my life to make this episode to make this episode today. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope it makes you want to listen to me more. And if it makes you want to listen to me more, please let me know in the comments. The last episode I made, someone actually commented, which is wild, right? I know. So if you like this, please share it with people that might also find it interesting. And also, I know I ramble a lot. I mean, that's the whole point of the podcast, so bear with me, no pun intended. Share it, subscribe if you want to see more. Also follow me on Twitter at General Prime 1. And thank you for chilling with me. Thank you for giving me your listening ears, and I'll talk to you guys next time. All right, bye everybody.